Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Upper Room. Pentecost just passed, and one of the essential tasks that the disciples did after Pentecost, after they received the gifts of the Holy Spirit, was evangelize. Actually, so many people were there visiting from every other nation, different Jews from all over, that when the Holy Spirit descended, it descended on all of them. And the 12 were speaking in tongues, and lots of miraculous things were happening. And all the people there that were visiting, they were preaching to them about the gospel in their native tongue, and they never learned that language before. So how did that happen? Which brings me to my next point. Pentecost just came and passed. Now it's time to evangelize. My recommendation for all of you is to join the Legion of Mary. The Legion of Mary's prime purpose in the Catholic Church is for evangelization. I recently joined the Legion of Mary, and we're looking this year to make evangelization a strong point at our parish. Every parish has a given border that everyone is to attend that church or that parish who's Catholic in that area. So you only go within that border. So you do door-to-door evangelization, and as well as there's a little table that you set up in town, and you go out in pairs 2 by 2, just like Christ sent out the disciples 2 by 2 to forgive sins, heal the sick, and cast out demons. But we'll be bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to the people. So if you're not good at evangelization, which I am definitely not good at, I'm terrible at it. I'm not the best, but I try. My point is that I believe I can do anything with God, and you can too. Most of the time, statistics have shown that people who have stopped going to Mass, approximately 75% of Catholics don't go to Mass on Sundays. And that may be astonishing, even though when you do go to Mass, you can see the whole church is packed. There's been lots more people that are in the church that have actually been baptized and confirmed Catholic that just stopped going to Mass. And 80% of Catholics who have returned, who have come back to church, only came back because someone simply invited them to come back to church, and it got them thinking, and they decided to come back, and they started coming back from that point on. If all it takes is an invitation to say, hey, it's time for you to come back to church. Why don't you come back to church? And at that point, the Holy Spirit just takes over and calls them home. Then I will by no means not go knock on doors and say, hey, why don't you come back to church? It's time to come home. And they do, and it's the best decision they ever made, simply because you said, hey, it's time to come home to church. That's all it takes sometimes. There are other people that it's more in depth than that. But if 80% of people, of Catholics who stopped going to Mass and came back to Mass and started coming more regularly again, only came back because someone invited them, anybody can do that. You can do that. You don't even need to know the gospel that much to do that. If you're Catholic, and you have a desire to learn the gospel, the Legion of Mary is a great place to put your evangelization in the right place for the Catholic Church. Its primary focus is evangelization. So in remembrance of Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit descended on the disciples, let's all make that conscious decision this year to serve Christ and be evangelists for his church that he founded through St. Peter. So thanks again for watching The Upper Room. I'm Jared. I'll see you again next week.